Hi everybody, thanks for joining me once again on this lovely wet horrible Friday. Hence we're in Studio 2 today. It's wet, raining, windy, horrible out there. Anyway, we're nice and cosy and warm in here. A bit of housekeeping: if you're looking for the Cornwall snow film, just jump forward about 20 minutes and it's tacked on the end, but then you'll miss all these wonderful insights and occasional humour from our comments, and you wouldn't want to do that. Such as, now you only better help us out with this one. From Lionel and Mary Travels. Lionel's computer's bust at the moment. Oh dear, not good. Lionel says we're commenting this time, or this part of the thingy. Losing my track now, aren't I? I haven't even got started yet. Oh dear. Right. Yes, his computer's bust, so he's out of production for just a short while while he sorts that problem out. And Lionel says of the Forest of Dean and the quarries that we investigated on the last film, what an area, he says, full of old mines and quarries. Yeah, absolutely full of them. How big is the Forest of Dean? Now that's where I turn to you guys. How big is the Forest of Dean? Somebody will know, Lionel. Bet your life. Grumpy old man then, our Jim, all the way from Tennessee, says, good old Jim. I'm glad you passed your heel-to-toe sobriety test on the trail. Thanks, Jim. Trev. Trev. He says, good afternoon, thank you for today's video. Showing the hunt for your quarry. See what I did there, he says. It gets worse. It's uncanny that I was actually walking my beloved Forest of Dean today. Oh, there you go. York Walk was, of course, at the Bixlade tram road to the Bixlade quarry. Now, if you think you know anything about tramways, read Trev's bit, because he'll fill you in on lots of detail I had no idea about. I hadn't realised they put them that carefully and bedded them down and that sort of thing. Yeah, wonderful. I still have to think, of that first rise that we went up, which was quite steep. The weight of those trolleys when they were full up with stone. They must have taken some controlling down there, mustn't they? You wouldn't want to stand in front of one, that's for sure. Anyway, go and read Trev's bit on tramways. It'll enhance your viewing. Simon! Simon's been on his golfing trip over in Thailand. Simon says, good morning, evening, afternoon, night. Who knows with this time difference? He says, I know once time I got back, had a shower, got into bed, went to sleep, got out, got dressed, and found I'd only been in there 10 minutes. Only you, Simon, only you. Oh, dear me. Donnie said I managed to lose my bearings in that area once. Talk about difficult to judge the distance. It felt like it must have been 10 miles back to where I parked, and all the time wondering, is this the right direction? Yeah, it can get a bit fraught, kind of, when you get misplaced. I mean, we in Parkinson's waters, we never get lost. Oh, no, never get lost. But we do occasionally get misplaced. Malcolm Richardson said it was a fantastic trek along old tramways. Certainly was. Surrounded by bracken, tall trees and wild boar, in search of stone quarries. I'm not sure I could have kept my cool for fear of losing my way, or being attacked by boar, or falling into an unmarked quarry, or all three. Intrepid explorer there, Malcolm. Dear. Marilyn. Marilyn says, how amazing those tramway sets are still there. True. I always thought forest stone was a red-pink colour. Sandstone, yeah. But am I wrong? Is that granite? Well, I think I can say with some confidence it's not granite. I've always thought of it as red sandstone. But again, somebody on here can probably enlighten us, Marilyn, with a bit of luck. Railway Christina. Sumptuous scenery and one of my favourite pieces of music. Good. I always think landscapes are the physical expression of music. Isn't that lovely? Yeah. Pete Payne. What a great adventure that was. It must be rare to see mines in section like that. Ah, that one that where they dug out the quarry and they'd actually come down through a mine section. Yeah, only one I've ever known of. Yeah, brilliant. See, that was an amazing find, Pete reckons. Off out for a walk with Sid now. Sid's the dog, who's now 9 months and is quite a handful, but lucky for him, quite a nice lad. Oh, well done, Sid. Keep our Peter fit for us. Michael from Poland says, greetings from Poland. Nice to hear from Parkinson's walks, family members from around the world. Isn't it just? Yeah, lovely. Memories and humour abound. Yep, they usually do. And they don't very often let us down. Actually, I don't think they ever let us down when it comes to that. Well done, guys. The forest was spectacular, he says. Many quarries to see, but for me, the remains of the tramway was the highlight. At first I thought we were off on a safari, superb dress code for an adventure. Yeah. Oh dear. David Belania, David from Spain. He says there are lots of quarries scarring the landscape down here. I can see one from my office, high up in the hills. Ooh. It has lots of outcrops which have been quarried for the white marble that's hidden just below the surface. Excuse me. David reports it's cold down here too, but no sign of snow yet, and that's next year's water supply. Perhaps you could do a dance for us. Ah, well, what you need, of course, is Simon, don't you, the hairy golfer? Yeah, Simon can produce rain almost anywhere. I should get in touch if I were you, David. See if we do something for you. Jim Nichols, our Jim from New Zealand. I thought at first that you were dressed for an African safari. Another one. But no lions or elephants this time, just some unseen wild boar. He says you did well on your search for quarries, with brilliant timing to reach the big working one during the traditional and sacred British lunchtime. Yes, I don't think I would have been welcome any other time, to be honest. Sumac, who is of course is our channel mascot. Morning, Sumac. I didn't much care for the keep dogs under close control sign. I'm actually the one doing the controlling anyway. Well, you would be if you were James. He takes a bit of controlling Sumac, doesn't he? And talking of James, our James, of course, has the privilege of living with Sumac. He says, hi Ron, that was a nice adventure. I now know how to deal with wild boar. Strangely enough, I usually do clap, shout and stamp my feet when I'm watching your videos anyway. But good of you to remind me, he says. It's getting a bit colder here. Yes, all of us lot in the northern hemisphere, we're settling down for it, aren't we? Yeah. It's getting a bit colder here, he says, so Sumac is much happier, unlike myself. Take care, enjoy Studio One while you can, and we'll see you next week. Yeah, well, we're out of Studio One already, straight into Studio Two. Now, the film last week was a return to the Evesham Railway, the one that I've chased it from Ashchurch up to Barnet Green. And showing those films, people of course with more knowledge than me come up with lots of bits and pieces I've missed, and I'm trying to catch them up. So, the one last week looked at the other half of the bridge, if you like. We'd already explored one half, and I was told that you could access the second half over the other side of the Avon via a path, so off we went. Now, of course, Trev jumps in because Trev knows all this stuff. He says, today's video, the Midland Railway Bridge revisited, and obviously slightly warmer weather than we're having today, yeah? I was over the Brecon Beacons yesterday, and there was snow on the tops. Crikey, it's getting close then. It's not too far from here. There's not much more I can add to the post I did following your last visit, but the first crossing of the railway that you came to with the new gates was for a wide footpath. And Trev has lots of theories on why that footpath was there, why they had crossings in some places and bridges in others. Interesting read. He then goes on to trash my plate layers hut find. It wasn't a plate layers hut apparently. and the lump of concrete, he says, oh, he came up with a theory for the lump of concrete, which may or may not have been something to do with signals, may or may not. He says it's all conjecture, of course, and I would be interested to hear if anyone else has any more information. Yeah, finally, yeah, here we go, here we go, settle down. Finally, it was me flying about the bridge, Ron. I had come to drop supplies in case you couldn't find your way out of the undergrowth, and we're going to be trapped for several days. Nice try, Kev, nice try. Yeah, well done, Trev. Oh dear. Lionel and Mary again then. Lionel says, that concrete road was in better condition than many of the country's A roads, and there's the phone. Cut. And here we go again, I think. I reckon that was one of those silent calls, so I didn't hear any shouting going on. Right, now then, Lionel and Mary then says, or Lionel says, that concrete road was in better condition than many of the country's A roads. Get a dig in while you can there, Lionel. Railway Christina, another grotesque mistake made in closing such a useful diversionary route. Christina's got her railway hat on here, hasn't she? And suggesting that if they left it open, any time they wanted to maintain one line or the other, they could have shut it and used a diversion, used it as a diversion. Yeah, well done, Christina. They don't think ahead, do they? Peter Smith said, you had a field day there, Ron. What with all those fence posts? Yeah, we do love a fence post or two. So I'm getting hooked on them too. Steady on, Peter. Once you get hooked, there's no dropping it. You'll be grovelling around in hedges all over the place. Oh dear. He said it's my first visit for a few weeks as I've been under the weather. Oh, sorry to hear that, Peter. Trust you're fully on the mend now. Donny. Donny then. Brilliant walk, made better by your undying sense of curiosity. Is that what it is? Good. Donny says, I know this area quite well, and I've investigated the ferry point from both sides. When I see the magnitude of all those structures, I wonder if the railways ever ran at a profit after the cost of construction and the regular maintenance. Well, yeah, anybody on here that's watching that's interested in railways and has done any sort of research will know that the railway companies always had financial troubles, or always seem to. Somewhere along the line they're always hitting the financial troubles. And I suppose you're right, because they spend so much money on these magnificent edifices, that drain the coffers a bit, I suppose, but then vanity rules, excuse me. Abandoned railways, this is our Ron, from up at Morton and the Marsh way. Once again he said, persistence pays dividends. Yep, we finally got there. That bridge certainly is the most impressive structure, even half covered with ivy. Some nice finds on the way, and looked like a pleasant day for a walk. It's very cold up here on the Wolds, so I've not been out filming for about a month now. Yeah, I know. Well, if it's not freezing cold, it's pouring down with rain, it's getting very difficult. And yet Paul from West Country Wanderings is out there producing 2 films every week. Amazing. Don't know how you do it, Paul. You must be waterproof, mate. You're supposed to put the waterproofing on your boots, not... There you go for our Simon. Coming back down to earth a bit now, I think, our Simon. He says, a nice jaunt in the undergrowth and some fantastic finds as usual. I have this feeling one day we'll regret what we have destroyed. Yeah, going back to Christina's point, isn't it really? Bit short-term thinking that, I think, guys. Rodney. Rodney Masters. Good old Rodney. This is Rodney on form as usual. Good morning, Ron. Was the shot of the grey horse and your mention of a saddle intended to prepare us for a new YouTube channel, Ride Along with Ron? Well, it's a thought. Pete Payne said, morning, a nice little jaunt with a good result at the end. Sid's a bit under the weather today. Oh dear, Sid the dog's under the weather, and he seems to have picked up a bit of a bug, and I'm not sure that he's all that into railway films. Stick with it, Sid. Stick with it. Marilyn. Good morning, says Marilyn. Straight off into Evesham, found my map and followed your search. What a wonderful flat walk the down did along there. She says, I could manage that. Well, Marilyn, next time you're down this way, don't forget to pack your walking boots. Oh, lovely. Michael from Spain says, good morning to you from a very cold and snowy Poland. Yeah, it's creeping up on us, it says. Mother Nature has started to reclaim the bridge remains for herself. The visible stonework is very impressive. What a shame the bridge is so decayed and forgotten. It's a museum piece, isn't it, really? It deserves respect, but there you go. There you go. David, all the way from sunny Spain. I thought you were going to need to borrow the other Ron's machete to get down to the riverside, but you found a way through. A bit unsporting of the abutment to hide itself behind the undergrowth. Yeah, all that work and it hides itself. No sign on this side of the continuation of the sewer pipe. Yeah, now you might remember when we filmed the other side, there was that mysterious archway, which we tried to figure out what was all about. And we think Trev came up with the definitive that it was actually a conduit for the sewer pipe, because the sewage works is just the other side of the river. But when we looked on the side we're on now, can't see anything there, so quite what's happened, goodness only knows. Now then, David said, I came across an intriguing find this week, an aqueduct that doesn't go anywhere. Oh. It's a branch off the main or Royal Irrigation Channel, high up the river valley, and it extends out for maybe 100 feet with 2 or 3 arches, then stops abruptly, and the water descends down a large steel pipe to an abandoned area of the city. An abandoned area of the city, an aqueduct. This is all Indiana Jones stuff. This is David, isn't it? Oh yeah, well done. David says down there in Spain it's wet and windy right now, but not cold. The temperatures will plummet when the sun sets. That's if it ever rises. Snow is due, but not down to us. I think I'll be lighting the wood burner this afternoon. Shame I can't get any crumpets down here yet. I'm missing out on the crumpets. I love the smell of a wood burning stove. Gorgeous. Envy you that one, David. Right. Peter Gale. Peter Gale says, I'm back in the land of Oz after 7 months in the Balkans. Watching your bridge search and subsequent unreasonably long walk to go about 50 metres. Yeah, if you consider it, the other side of the bridge, the other abutment is only 50 metres across the river, but you've got to go all that way down and round to get to it. He said, I found my inner delinquent voice yelling out just to leg it across the existing rail bridge. Ooh. He says, us older gents need a reminder of younger and more reckless days. I don't think we need a reminder of that one. Goodness me. Peter, I don't think you get very far on that, to be honest. Yes, these days they're a lot hotter on it, aren't they? Yeah. Sharon Idle. Again, it's sad to see all that well-constructed architecture semi-demolished and wasted. Now, on the subject of her book, because Sharon, if you've been following us, has written a book. We have an author in our midst. Sharon's written a book, submitted it to be published, and they under some copyright issues. She's put that right and she's resubmitted again. And so she says, the updated, revised, amended manuscript is with the publishers being scrutinised. I should have an answer by the end of January. And she'll finish him when he gets it. Brilliant, well done. Now, we've got Scotch Diesel now. I don't have a name, unfortunately. We don't normally publish people without names, but I thought this one was worthy of it, from Scotch Diesel. And if you're doing a film for the Friday before Christmas, may I suggest postponing it until Boxing Day, just because it would be great for something decent to watch on Boxing Day rather than the endless repeats on the telly. I'm afraid we're going to have to suffer the repeats. Brilliant stuff. Right, now, Film Club. And again, if you're new to the channel, Film Club is where we resubmit some old postings or find stuff, odd stuff here and there. That's what constitutes Film Club. What we're showing this week, in a few seconds' time, Is Cornwall in the snow? Well, we've been on about snow all this time. Might just as well show a bit of it, might we? In an unusual situation, which is by the coast. So that'll be there. And then the film next week is Evesham Station. So I've recovered the bridge. When I filmed the station here last time, I missed out the Midland Railway buildings, which is still there. So worth looking at. So we're going to film that next week. So if you'd like to pop along with us next Friday, see you at Evesham Station. Don't be late. We're off to sunny Cornwall. Oh, what's this? Oh, it's only a flurry, it won't last. It won't settle. Oh. The farther south we go now, the less there'll be. You'll peter out in it, you watch. Well, that was fun. At least here in Padstow we're sheltered and we're snowed up to the sea, so we won't get any snow down here, although it is a tad windy. You know, if I didn't know better, I'd say that was snow. Not supposed to happen. Well guys, I'm sure you'll agree with me, there's only one thing you can do on a day like today. Get the walking boots on. No? Come on, you'll love it. Well, this is late March and this is our spring break in Cornwall, and as you can see, not the sort of conditions we're used to down here, but snow, camera, like a child in a sweet shop really. We're going to try and see how far we can get on this walk. Don't quite know with the cold how long our last out or the camera will last out, but it's a golden opportunity for a lovely walk, so take you with me, let's see how far we can get. Cornwall, summer holiday or winter retreat. Wind in the wires. Tramways. Well, that's the cross country bit done. We're now across to the coast on the other side from Padstow. Now we head south, turn around at the golf course, come back all the way along the coast. That's if we get that far. Morning. Harding Bay. Constantine Golf Course then. This is as far south as we go, so now we turn around and head home. The only issue is that we had the wind at our back all the way down here. Now we're going to face the wind, so we're going to get a bit of a temperature drop, I fancy. Sunlight playing with us here. Mother Ivy's Bay. Harlin then, and we're going to have no trouble with the headlands today. Well, that completes the circle. Kind of, back to Harlan. Snow's pretty much gone. Just gonna tramp home from here. Ah, my friend, I know just how you feel. I think we're both fading fast at the moment. I shall get home with a bit of luck. Don't know if your future's quite as bright.